There's a brand new day ahead, so much to do, so much to see, so get your ass up out of bed. Get out now, time's wasted, there's no reward for hesitating. Okay, big in the news right now, InfoWars, Alex Jones guy getting pulled from social media. Yeah, YouTube and Facebook dropped him, Spotify dropped him, right? And so I recently made a post on Facebook about that, about it being bullshit, you know, because I kind of have a vested interest in free speech. And, you know, we're seeing a trend recently of stuff that's not status quo getting, you know, pulled. People don't want to hear it. And so I was a little bit pissed off about that. I'm a big, firm proponent of free speech, even free speech that I don't agree with. You know what I mean? So I made a post on Facebook about that, along those lines, saying it was bullshit. And some people I respect came back and said, well, inciting violence and hate speech isn't counted as free speech. And then that's when I started to realize I don't really know much about Alex Jones, honestly. He's been around for a long time, and very early on I saw that he's a crackpot, you know, a conspiracy theorist about everything being controlled by the New World Order and secret, you know, just like you would see on, you know, crazy movies. And, you know, of course, the famous water chemicals turning the frogs gay. And so for those reasons, I never really gave him much thought. You know, I see crazy memes about him on the internet and shit like that. Other than that, I came out on Facebook basically in support of him, not really knowing much about him, you know what I mean? So I went ahead and I looked up to see just exactly why they pulled his stuff. And Facebook said they were shutting down several of his pages. I guess he has more than one, for glorifying violence, which violates the graphic violence policy, obviously, and using dehumanizing language to describe people who are transgender, Muslims, and immigrants, which violates our hate speech policies, which I agree with. So, you know, I do support free speech, but when you start, you know, like I said, there's lines that you can't cross. And glorifying violence and getting people to whipping them up in a frenzy against Muslims, immigrants, transgender people, you know, this is going to cause violence towards these people. And then, yeah. And I guess by the same token, InfoWars, his website, does still run his stuff. You know, it's his website. He can still get out there and, you know, promote his own platform. So his free speech is not being trampled on in any way, even if it is stuff that not constitutionally protected as free speech. He still has the right to have his own website. And so I really do support YouTube, Facebook, you know, getting rid of his stuff. They don't want that kind of shit associated with them. Why? Because they have transgender people, and they have Muslims and black people and Mexican people and people from Zimbabwe and you know what have you on their platforms. And this is a place where everybody should feel safe to express themselves. I just don't want to see this being an attack on free speech. Now the problem with his free speech is he crossed too many lines. I guess he thought he was untouchable because he's a, you know, big dog out there or whatever. And somebody shut him down, showed him he's not untouchable, and I think that's good. So it's actually kind of still in the balance for me, but I do support Facebook and YouTube and Spotify for not letting him get up there and saying their stuff. I mean, he's talking about Robert Mueller, imitated, you know, you know, you're going to get it or I'm going to die trying, and boom, you know, like, you know, this is getting kind of out there. You can't make people worry that you're threatening their physical safety or their safety of their families, or telling people that it's okay to threaten people and their physical safety and their families, because motherfuckers will fucking follow that shit, you know what I mean? People swallow it and run with it. And so he crossed the line. He crossed several lines, and He still has his own website, and they're actually saying that they think that they're going to get the ban lifted and get him back on YouTube and Facebook. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes, and see what is considered protected free speech.